Hi, everyone, and welcome to our post-merger webinar. We will start with the great news that the TD Ameritrade to Charles Schwab transition of accounts was successfully completed over this last weekend. There are still some outstanding merger items, but the bulk of the work is behind us. A couple of quick announcements before we begin. You will want to make your webinar full screen for the best viewing experience. So in Zoom, on the icon in the upper right-hand corner, there's a drop-down menu. You'll want to click Standard and then make it full screen. Additionally, we will have questions and answers during this presentation. So to ask questions, you're going to want to use the chat function. And the bottom taskbar, if you can't see the taskbar, you can go ahead and drag your mouse down to the bottom and it will make it pop up. And then the chat icon, you can submit your questions during any time in the webinar. You don't have to wait to the end to submit your questions. We include this disclosure in all of our webinars, so we are not planning to talk about performance today, but you can go ahead and read that at your leisure if you wish. And today's agenda, we are going to be talking about a few key reminders regarding the merger. We'll provide an overview of Schwab Alliance, as well as some frequently asked how-tos and frequently used functionalities, as well as having questions and answers at the end. So today's presenters. This presentation is being hosted by the Aspen Capital operations team. So I'm Rachel Rant in the bottom left-hand corner of this screen. And then I am joined by the other members of the Aspen Capital Ops team, Bryn Penner in the bottom center and Nate Berman on the bottom right. So they will be covering the majority of our materials today. The first thing we'd like to cover is just a couple of reminders. So you will be receiving September monthly statements from both TD Ameritrade and Schwab. An extra note on this front is if you have any residual account activity in your TD Ameritrade accounts, which could happen for up to the next 90 days if you have any checks that didn't clear or trailing dividends or anything like that, you will continue to receive additional statements from TD Ameritrade as long as that residual activity is taking place. Next, this is an important one. You will receive 2023 tax documents from both TD Ameritrade and Schwab. We'll be in touch about that as it becomes more pertinent, but just know that you will be receiving tax documents from both institutions. And lastly, in case you haven't seen it, our video tutorial library is live on our website. So we'll be covering some of those topics today during this webinar, but if there's anything that we don't get to or didn't cover, you can always go to our tutorial library to see if we have an additional video. So with that, I am going to hand over the floor to Bryn to give you an overview of Schwab Alliance.
All right, thanks, Rachel. Like Rachel said, I'm going to run through a quick overview of the Schwab Alliance website. So hopefully by now you have been able to log in and check out the features that the Schwab portal has compared to TD Ameritrade. And as a reminder, you can access the Schwab Alliance portal by going to the Online Client Center on aspencapitalmanagement.com and clicking Schwab Alliance Login. When you log in, Schwab has a great banner that shows some key items such as reviewing your accounts, confirming your profile, reviewing account settings, and some additional learning resources. As mentioned previously, there should be no material changes to your account positions, balances, or your move money settings. You can review your accounts here. And if the balance of your account is lower than expected, it could be because not all of your household accounts are linked to your account yet, and we will review how to do that momentarily. Next, we encourage you to take some time to review your profile to ensure that your email address, phone number, and home address is up to date. If you make any updates, please let us know so we can update our internal systems. Now we're going to navigate to a demo account for a brief tour. All right, so on the account summary page, you can view all of your investment accounts. If you'd like to nickname any of your accounts, you can do so by clicking the Settings tab and updating the nickname right here. Additionally, you can rearrange your accounts by dragging this up and down. From the Accounts tab on the top banner, you can also view your balances, your positions, your account history, among other things. You can also find your custodial statements and tax forms right here. There's also a quick link section where there are links to the most common features right over here on the right-hand side. Now we'll navigate to the Move Money tab on the top banner right here. The Move Money tab is where you can find your linked bank accounts. You can make transfers to your bank account and review your routing number and direct deposit instructions, which Nate will go over momentarily. Lastly, in order to do any account maintenance, you will navigate to the profile icon on the right-hand side. From here, you can update security settings, update contact information, view beneficiaries, manage account access, view alerts, and go paperless. This is where you can add view-only access for other household members, which I'm going to show you right now. And please note, you can also do this from the quick links that add view-only access button right there. So we'll go to the profile icon, go to account access, click the green Give Account Access button, and then you will want to select View Only. Select the account that you want to give access to, and please note that you'll have to run through the same process for each account. You will enter the information of your household member, and then click Continue. The person gaining access will receive an email where they will have to accept the viewing access within 7 days. If the person gaining view-only access hasn't set up their Schwab Alliance credentials, they will be prompted to do so before being able to accept the viewing access. Now I'm going to pass it along to Nate to discuss the direct deposit information.
Awesome. Thank you, Bren. To start off here, I do want to remind you that you can start inputting your questions into the chat. We will be running through the Q&A session here momentarily. And the first thing I'll go through is accessing your direct deposit information. So as you saw there, I navigated back to the home screen. And we are going to look for the Move Money tab. And from there, you can access or look for routing numbers and direct deposit. And this is where you're going to find those numbers. And the usefulness of having these numbers there are a couple uses for it. The first is if you want to set up incoming direct deposit from an external account. So a good example of that is Social Security payments that you'd like to deposit directly into your Schwab account. In addition to that, from this screen, we're going to select Move Money, and then we got to the direct deposit information. And from this screen, you're going to have to select your account that you'd like to view this information for. So there is only one account on this profile, but this is where you'd find the account. Select the account. And right under that, the first thing you're going to see are wire instructions for sending a wire into your Schwab account. Sorry about that. So this is the deposit, the incoming wire instructions. So if you wanted to deposit a wire into your Schwab account, these would be the instructions you would give to your external institution. As you can see, it'll include the bank name, the routing number, the account number, and the for further credit to. So that will be all you need for incoming wire instructions. And scrolling down here, we can see the direct deposit instructions, which include the routing number, account number, and type of account. So this is really important. The type of account you'll need to get correct to set up those incoming direct deposits. In addition to that, you can also view a printable and savable PDF, which you can do here. And this will include all of that same information if you need that in a PDF format. So the next thing I'm going to discuss here, I'm going to move back to the presentation. And we are going to discuss the Schwab mobile app. So this is something that's a much bigger focus for Charles Schwab than TD Ameritrade, and is something that we think you should try and get a good understanding of how this works, download the app, and it'll be very useful and it'll save a lot of time going forward. This is a screenshot of both the Apple App Store and the Android App Store of the Schwab mobile app that you can download. And I will say, just one note there, that the Schwab mobile app, those will be the same credentials that you'll use for schwaballiance.com as the Schwab mobile app. And the Schwab mobile app is useful for, the first thing is e-authorization. Now, e-authorization is a new feature, and it would take me a lot more time to go through it in extreme detail. So I would just say, if you walk away from this not super confident about e-authorization, that is totally okay. You can always give us a call when and if this comes up. But e-authorization is useful for certain types of move money transactions. The first move money transaction that we can use e-authorization for is move money transactions without standing approval or a link between accounts that's not already set. The second is journaling securities, or in other words, moving non-cash positions like a mutual fund between accounts. And the third is outgoing wires and check requests. All of these move money transactions can utilize e-authorization for you as the client to approve the transactions. And that is instead of signing a DocuSign form. And then I'll just add that there are some account maintenance items that can utilize e-authorization as well. So how does it work? These are screenshots from the Schwab mobile app. So it'll be really easy. If you need to e-authorize a specific transaction, you'll log into the mobile app. You will, for the first time, need to consent to e-authorization. Going forward, you'll not need to do that after the first e-authorization. And then it'll walk you through how to agree and approve the transaction. Now, you can also do this on your desktop, on your computer by searching schwaballiance.com and logging in. Again, it will walk through how exactly to use e-authorization to approve these types of transactions. So the next big item for the Schwab mobile app is the mobile check deposit feature. And the way you can utilize mobile check deposits is to log into your Schwab mobile app, and you'll see the Move Money button on the bottom of on the bottom taskbar of your mobile app. And when you select that, you'll have the option to choose from a few different types of move money transactions that you can initiate. And as you can see there in the middle, you see deposit checks. And when you click deposit checks, it'll take you to this next screen on the right-hand side. And you'll just need to follow the instructions to take a picture of the front of the check, a back of the check, and then enter the amount and select the account. Two things I'll note on check deposit is you'll want to make sure that your full name and account number are included on the check. In addition to that, if you can't fit the account number that on the payable line of that check, you can include that in the memo line. And then you'll just need to make sure to endorse the check as well. Unfortunately, there are a couple of accounts that are not eligible for mobile check deposit. The first one is IRA rollover contribution. So if you're rolling over your 401k into your IRA and you have a check that's cut to you and then you want to deposit that into your IRA at Schwab, unfortunately, that is not something that you can do. and you'll need to use the standard process of mailing that to Schwab or taking it to a local Schwab branch. We provide instructions on where to send it or where to take it to if that comes up. And then the other two accounts that are not eligible for mobile check deposit are I-401ks and simple IRAs. There's a couple other accounts that are not eligible, but these are the main three that are not eligible for mobile check deposit. So we're going to start the question and answer segment now. I'm going to hand it back over to Rachel for that.
Thanks, Nate. So before we begin Q&A, as I'm sure you can all imagine, we are somewhat new to Schwab as well. So we may not know absolutely everything at this point, but if there's something we're unsure about, we are happy to research it and get back to you. So just know that we likely have the answer, but if we don't, then we will make sure to look into that for you. So our first question coming through is about login credentials. So Bryn, I'll let you take this one. This client has not set up their credentials yet. How do they do that?
Yes, great question. So what you will need to do is just reach out to us and we can send you an activation link. From there, you can follow the instructions to set up your account.
Great, thank you. Another question, actually, I'll point this one to Bryn as well. They say my phone number is outdated in the system, so I can't set up my credentials. How do I update it?
All right, so this one, unfortunately, Schwab does not allow us to update phone numbers on behalf of clients, but clients can call Schwab Alliance. I believe we have the phone number. I can put it up real quick. There we go. You can call that number, or we could send you a form via DocuSign. It's definitely quicker to call the Schwab Alliance number to get that set up and changed, but we're happy to also send a DocuSign.
Great. All right, another question. This one I will point to Nate. When I log into Schwab Alliance, I see a trading tab. Isn't Aspen supposed to trade for me?
Yeah, so Schwab does include a trading tab in the client portal, unlike TD Ameritrade. However, as your advisor managing your accounts, we will always place the agreed upon trades for you. So you won't need to use that tab. And in fact, we would discourage you from ever trading because of we're so rigorous about tax efficiency and have specific softwares to optimize tax efficiency for those trades in your account.
Great, thank you. The next question is about viewing access. I actually will take this one. So the question is, why do we choose view only if we both have access to all accounts? So that is a great question. We recommend choosing view only just because that was the way it was at TD Ameritrade. So it's mirrored and you're able to view all of the account information. The other two types of authority mostly have to do with trading. And so since you won't be trading in your accounts anyways, it doesn't really matter. I will say the only distinction, if you want to do the full trading access authority, that also includes the ability to move money for your spouse's account. We often will move money for you as well. But if that's something you'd like to do yourself for a spousal account or something, they can provision you with that level of access. So view only should meet all of your needs for the most part, for most of our client base, but that is what we'd recommend. Another question, I will point this one to Nate. In the TDA app, it was very easy to see a graph of historical account total value. Where is that in Schwab?
So that's a good question too. In Schwab, the total account value and actual graph for that, and I actually might maneuver back to our demo account here. So if we go back here, the total account value in that graph that I think you want to see is viewable up on the top of the screen. Now, this account doesn't have any cash in it, and just like your accounts that have just recently moved over to Schwab from TD Ameritrade, that graph is going to be super short, and that total value will be right there as well, but the graph will be super short. What we would recommend is for your total household value, and seeing those, those graphs that show value over time, that the great place for that is your client portal, your ACM client portal. So that's what I would recommend, but total value and that chart will show up right here in the top of the Schwab Alliance screen.
Great, thank you, Nate. And actually, while we're talking, I am going to just pull this back up in case anyone wanted that Schwab Alliance number. We have learned with Schwab that we are not able to do quite as much on behalf of our clients as we historically have been able to with TD Ameritrade. For example, updating the phone number on a client's account. So unfortunately, clients have to be a little bit more involved on those types of things, and this is the phone number to call. We're always happy to provide this for you as well, and we can do most of the account servicing things, but when we do run up against those legal issues that Schwab has, this is the phone number. So another question that came in, I will direct this one to Bryn. Is it okay to delete the advisor client app now?
Yes, it is. You can delete that. I believe everything is off of it now and it can be deleted.
Yes, that's
all information.
Great. Well, those are all of the questions that we have received. We'll give you just another minute in case you're typing something up. It looks like that might be it. Oh, okay, never mind. We did get one more question. I'm glad we waited. So this is from a client who has not received their checks yet. They asked, should we contact Schwab directly? That is a great question. I know that Schwab did communicate there are some mailing delays with some of the checkbooks. So I would say if you haven't received your checkbooks by the end of this week, please do reach out to us and we can contact Schwab on your behalf about that. We may have some visibility into that, but the guidance from Schwab on this front is to wait until the end of this week in light of some mailing delays that they have experienced. So if you're running into any kind of like payment or money transfer problems in light of that, feel free to reach out to us as well, and we can troubleshoot that with you. Oh, okay, another question has also come in. So this question is, I'm going to point this one to Nate. Given what Nate said, does that mean we have lost the history of our investment performance over the past 5 years?
On the Schwab Alliance website, it won't show the investment performance, but that will be shown on your client portal. So the answer to that question is no. You've just got to go to the right place to find that. And I'll just reiterate that again. The client portal will have your investment performance, your transactions, anything you would want to see and had seen when your accounts were at TD Ameritrade. That will be the exact same at the Aspen Capital client portal. And if you need help accessing that client portal, we are always happy to help you through that. We can reset username and help you get into that portal to see account values through history and performance for the past 5 years.
Yes, and I would echo that too. All of our reporting through Aspen Capital Management covers the entire history of your relationship with us as your advisor. So in the Aspen Capital client portal, you're able to see everything going back to the inception of your relationship with us as a client. And then also all of the reporting that we provide in your annual reviews and one-off meetings and things like that, that all covers the entirety of your relationship with us as well. Okay, great. It looks like that might be all of the questions that we have had come in. So we just want to take a minute to say thank you. We know this has been a big transition, switching from TD Ameritrade to Schwab. I know that I can say that we're glad it's in the rearview mirror and that everything is wrapped up. But please don't hesitate to reach out with further questions as they come up. We will be sending out a recording of this webinar and posting it on our website. And we do still have that video tutorial library on our website that addresses commonly asked questions as well. So thank you very much, everybody.